To set the scene, 'tis the Christmas of 2010. The Mullins' Christmas party.
And his Boxing Day parties were always peppered with embarrassment of the plastic fork on the paper plate whilst trying to balance a drink with what I can only describe as missiles, i.e. the cocktail sausage that you go to prod that then literally bounces across the plate and then down somebody's front.
And you can't get any purchase with a plastic knife and fork
on a paper plate.
onto a paper plate. No. So you're trying to cut the whatever it is,
cocktail
the meat
sausage,
or the sausage. Well, you wouldn't eat a knife and fork for a cocktail sausage.
No. Well, you would if you got it on your plate, because it was a bouncing sausage.
It feels like we veered off course.
Why would you have? The whole point of a cocktail sausage is that you pick it up and put it in your mouth.
With a cocktail stick.
You don't bother with knives, forks, plates.
Then
Maybe it came on a trolley. It came on, that's right. It came on with the Mullins' butler.
It was a whole
on a trolley,
sausage, my
and then he brought it across
It was
to
a
me.
normal
With
sausage.
Daddy's teeth, though, you do have to cut up a cocktail sausage into quite small pieces.
Do you know what his
funny.
solution was, of course?
What?
He travelled with his own cutlery then in his top pocket.
Yeah.
I did.
There were some years
Just
where
for
you
that
would
buffet.
just for that buffet.
Yeah.
But he was like literally that buffet lived in your head rent free for it would be like months before Christmas was even like upon us. We'd be talking about Christmas plans, and you'd say, "Well, we're going to obviously go to the Mullins' Boxing Day party," and you'd be like, "No, I don't want to go." And we'd be like, "What? They're your best friends."
He would never
and
have
you'd
said
be like,
that.
"No, I
No,
can't
I
go
don't, no.
because of those bloody paper plates." It's like you're not.
Well,
so you're
yes, I
actually
would,
not going to go to your
I
best
would have
friend's
gone.
party because they serve food
I
on
would have
paper
gone.
plates.
I would have gone had they not. But the problem was that they did.
Yeah.
And I found it extremely difficult to eat or even perform with a plastic knife and fork. I just couldn't do it.
Also, you made them move the Boxing Day party, which they did, unbelievably. I mean, this is quite embarrassing too, that the whole of southwest London had to rearrange their Christmas plans because it interfered with your football viewing.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Just saying.
I
Anyway.
know what you're trying to do.
I know,
Get
I'm trying
back to
not
the
to-
story.
I'm trying not to
You're
tell the
trying,
story.
like literally, I've never heard filibustering like it.
Okay, I'm
Tell
gonna
the story
just
about
get
what
it out
happened
there.
at the
Okay.
Mullins' Boxing Day
so
party.
This particular Boxing Day, there had been a massive run-up because their youngest daughter was getting married the following summer, and there had been this big moment and lots of discussion about the fact that we were finally going to meet the youngest daughter, who's called Selena, marrying Chris. We were finally going to meet Chris's parents. And the whole point about this was that our youngest children, Molly and Barney, were going to be bridesmaid and page boy at this wedding. So there was this whole thing about meeting Chris's parents.
Right.
So this has been built up for weeks. So we get to the Boxing Day party.
Edwin and Anne, who host the party.
Right.
Yeah, and we're in their lovely sitting room. And I have a glass of champagne and then meander upstairs to the upstairs sitting room where there's a lot of people there, including you and you.
How could you have meandered up a flight of stairs? But you go up a staircase to the room above. You do not meander up, because otherwise you'd be all sort of doing a lot. Oh, that first staircase was so wonderful. Here's another one now. Oh, I've done the second step.
You meandered down it after this.
Yes, you
I
did. Well,
meandered
you ran
down it. I
it.
literally ran down it almost in tears.
Ran
Yeah.
home.
Anyway,
So,
sorry, carry
into
on.
the sitting room, chat to a few people, including Christopher, who's not with his parents at that point. And then I see somebody sitting on the sofa, so I think, I better go and chat to them because they were sitting on their own. So I go over to the sofa, plonk myself down, turn to this person, and I say, "Oh, hello, I'm Hilary. You must be Chris's father."
Are you Chris's father? You must be Chris's father.
I only said that because I knew everyone
And
else in
Chris's
the room.
father said,
No, I'm not. I'm not Chris's father. I'm Edwin's sister.